Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and Japan. We can also be heard on the internet at www.rri.ro Channel 1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn and via satellite Eutelsat 16A on 11,512 MHz vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. Symbol rate 29,950 mega symbols per second, standard DVB-S2, modulation 8 PSK, audio PID 510. We wish you good reception conditions.
I'm your host Elena Iannache, bringing you the news. First, the headlines. Over 1.1 million Romanians have been vaccinated so far against COVID-19. Pope Francis continues his visit to Iraq. And Romanian women's handball team CSM Bucharest on Saturday defeated CSM Râmnicu Vâlcea in a match counting towards the Champions League's round of 16. Pope Francis had a historic meeting on Saturday with Iraq's top Shiite cleric, the Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani, in the country's holy city of Najaf in the south. It was the second day of the Pope's visit to Iraq, the first ever papal visit to this country. Also on Saturday, the Pope visited Ur, the old city believed to be the birthplace of Abraham, the patriarch of Judaism, Christianity and Islam. From this place where faith was born, from the land of our father Abraham, let us affirm that God is merciful and that the greatest blasphemy is to profane his name by hating our brothers and sisters, Pope Francis said in Ur. The Pope held Mass at Baghdad's Chaldean Cathedral of St. Joseph late on the day. On Sunday, he is traveling to Mosul, a former Islamic State stronghold, where Christian churches and other buildings still bear the scars of conflict. The Pope's visit abroad to mostly Muslim countries such as Turkey, Jordan, Egypt, Bangladesh, Azerbaijan, the United Arab Emirates and the Palestinian territories have been aimed at boosting inter-religious dialogue. Iraq's Christian community, one of the oldest in the world, has been particularly devastating, falling to about 300,000 from about 1.5 million before 2003, and the brutal Islamist militant violence that followed. Over 1.1 million Romanians have been vaccinated against COVID-19 so far, most of them with Pfizer-BioNTech, but also with Moderna and AstraZeneca vaccines. More than 4,000 new infections with COVID-19 were recorded in the past 24 hours in Romania. Some 1,000 COVID patients are in intensive care. Several counties are now in the red zone, with over 3 cases per 1,000 inhabitants over the course of 14 days, namely Timiș, Maramureș, Ilfov, Cluj and Brașov. The infection rate in Bucharest passed 3 on Friday, with the capital city now re-entering the COVID red zone. The South African variant of the coronavirus has also been identified in Romania in 2 COVID patients, one of whom from Bucharest. The British variant had been identified in Romania at the beginning of January. Over 824,000 infections have been confirmed in Romania since the onset of the pandemic, with a death toll exceeding 20,850. The western city of Timișoara will be in lockdown starting on Sunday night due to a surge in infections. The World Health Organization urged people not to waste through complacency the hope that vaccines bring. The COVAX global vaccine sharing facility shipped more than 20 million doses to 20 countries as the scheme aimed at ensuring poorer nations get access to jabs took off last week. COVAX will distribute 14.4 million COVID-19 vaccine doses to 31 more countries next week, the WHO announced on Friday, when it also voiced fears that further waves of the coronavirus pandemic could be on the way if people think the rollout of vaccines around the globe means the crisis is over. The arrival of vaccines is a moment of great hope, but it potentially also is a moment where we lose concentration, the WHO Emergencies Director Michael Ryan told a news conference. In another development, the EU will hold talks on Monday with the US to secure the supply of American components for the anti-COVID vaccines, subject to tough export restrictions. Almost 117 million people across the world have been infected with COVID-19 since the onset of the pandemic 1 year ago, of whom more than 92 million have recovered and around 2.6 million have died. The prosecutor's office in Montpellier, southern France, has announced that a highly sophisticated international crime group involved in human trafficking has been dismantled in 4 European countries and that around 30 victims from South America and Romania have been rescued. Simultaneous arrests took place in Spain, Italy, Romania and France, and an investigation has been opened for aggravated procuring and human trafficking. Romanian women's handball team CSM Râmnicu Vâlcea on Saturday was defeated at home by CSM Bucharest 33-24. The fixture counts towards the Champions League's round of 16's first leg. The return leg is scheduled in Bucharest on March 13. We remind you that Cristina Neagu of Romania and Cristina Lisevic of Serbia have been designated Best Player and Best Foreign Player respectively of the 2019-2020 National League in Romania. And that was the news.